Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly, and we're back with another Southwest Virginia fishing report with Matt Reilly. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great, Marvin. How are you?
I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. Took a look at your weather, and I know in the past it's been ugly, but it's going to be ugly probably for the next 2 or 3 days, and then, I don't know, maybe we can be hopeful that spring is coming.
Yeah, I hope so. It's been, we've had everything the last couple of days. Yesterday it was in the 50s. We had some nice sunny days, in the last week or so, but yesterday and today it's just been rainy. Today I don't think it got above freezing at all today, and we had sleet and snow pretty much, sunrise to sundown, and tomorrow is looking to be a little bit warmer, in the 40s, but still, rain all day, and the rivers are high and dirty, and it's a good time of year to tie flies. So that's pretty much what we're doing right now.
Yeah, so your weather's going to start warming up maybe this weekend, and it looks like at least a gradual, maybe more seasonable warming trend. If people want to fish, I guess the game is to go up high and fish for trout, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Even our trout streams are pretty, rolling pretty high right now. Not terribly dirty, so you can still definitely fish them. You can still fish them when they're dirty too, but things aren't going to be ideal up there for another day or two, probably. But yeah, before we had all this rain, before we had, today was definitely the coldest day we've had, recently. We're on a bit of a warming trend where we were, out musky fishing and starting to see temperatures in the low 40s again, which, generally from like the end of December through January and early February, you're in the 30s pretty consistently, and, potentially hitting 40 every once in a while, but we were seeing 41, 41 and a half degrees just a couple of days ago before the rain, kicked everything up again. So, we should be in good shape once we get over this little temperature hump and the rivers come back down. But yeah, the trout fishing should be good, like it always is, as soon as the creeks drop and get a little more wadeable. That's the main issue right now, is things are just a little too heavy to be out there, really in the creek at all.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, particularly as cold as it is. It's not a good time to go for a swim for sure.
Yeah, for sure. You want to avoid that at all. And, like I said, some of the best fishing of the year is literally just a month and a half out. So, I'm taking all the time right now that I can to, catch up on writing assignments that I don't want to have to focus on when the fishing's better, and get my boxes filled so that I don't have to, take some desk days when I could be out on the river.
No, it makes a lot of sense, and it's funny because we've got a planning question from Ed, and it's a smallmouth question, and he wanted to know, when you should start planning to go on smallmouth trips, and, when do you expect to start to see the smallmouth start to move around a little bit?
Yeah. It kind of depends on where you are, and it depends on, what kind of year we're having, and that's like, the worst answer there is, but it's, the answer when it comes to outdoor pursuits and things that are temperature driven. And that's what fishing is. Last spring in March, we had some 60-degree water temps by the end of March, and some 50-degree water temps by like the first or second week of March, depending on where you were. In years past, it's been a couple of weeks behind that, which is a little more seasonable. But, basically we're just, once we start getting some pretty warm days in March, in the 60s, 70s, last year we had a couple of 80-degree days, but we're really looking for water temperatures to, start flirting with that 50-degree mark is when those fish really start to kind of break from their winter pattern, and they're going to start going on the move. And again, when that happens depends on where you are. The big river to our north, the New River, is big. It's got a lot of water volume to it, and a lot of the tributaries are higher elevation trout streams and that kind of thing. So it tends to stay colder longer, into the spring versus, maybe the James River is a little more lowland. And it's a little, it's got less water volume. It's shallower on average. It tends to warm up a little faster. So that's definitely something to keep in mind in the early season is, where your tributaries are coming from. Potentially, I talk about sometimes, through the musky season, something we deal with here is having some of these trout streams that feed the New River start, up at 4,000 feet. And they have snow pretty regularly, even when, it doesn't get below 30 degrees down on the main, the river valley. So, knowing where your tributaries are coming from, what the temperature profiles in those tributaries are like is important. And then just having, generally a smaller river option versus a bigger river option will get you out a little bit earlier in the spring. Because they'll warm up faster and, be a little more resilient when it comes to, the heavy spring rains that we tend to get, particularly in years past. So, short answer is 50-degree water temps, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit lower in the upper 40s if you've got a pretty strong warming trend happening. And when that's, at that point in the year, you're still kind of fishing those winter holes, but you're just fishing sort of the upper and lower extents of them a little bit more heavily than just focusing on the winter holes themselves. So, it's just sort of the start of that transition. And obviously as things continue to warm up, they'll start to progress through that transition towards spawning areas. So, like I said, short answer is 50-degree water temps and, just having a shallow small river option and a bigger, bigger, cooler, water option and understanding the difference between the two and what the timing's like. That's something I'm thinking a lot about that time of year.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And, folks, we love questions on the articulate fly. You can email them to us or shoot them to us on our Facebook or Instagram page. If we use your question, I'll send you some articulate fly swag and you'll get it into a drawing for something cool from Matt at the end of the season. And again, you just mentioned earlier in the fishing report that you were catching up on writing assignments. What are you catching up on?
Yeah, so I got the weekly column for the Royal Virginian. I guess should come out tomorrow or today. That I put out last week was just a story about, not really a story, just kind of a rundown of the Alabama bass, which is a species that, as fisheries biologists, we've kind of been trying to spread the word about in Virginia. It's a species of black bass, similar to a spotted bass, but it's native to Alabama and Georgia, and it has the ability to outcompete largemouth bass and to hybridize with smallmouth bass. So it's a problem for both big, largemouth bass reservoirs and smallmouth bass, or reservoirs that have largemouth bass that are connected to major smallmouth fisheries like Claytor Lake on the New River. It's been observed other places in the country in the past where Alabama bass get introduced, usually via an angler introduction into a water body, and if that water body has smallmouth in it or it's connected to a smallmouth river, they can, like I said, they can hybridize the smallmouth and dilute those genetics and just basically reduce the smallmouth population overall. So it's kind of a big deal. Virginia doesn't really have a lot of issues with them yet, but they're definitely here. So it's just something to kind of keep your eye out for. And then I also have been working on a feature article for American fly fishing, which is in the past, there's been 3 different publications, Eastern fly fishing, Northwest fly fishing, and Southwest fly fishing. and they're all destination-based magazines, but they've just been consolidated into American Fly Fishing and Eastern, which I've done a lot of work for in the past. I had an assignment for them about one of the local trout streams here, White Top Laurel, that I just finished and put out the other day. So that should be coming out, in the next 6 months or so. And then actually this week I should be out with my guys at the game department, shocking muskies again, and taking some photos there to go along with a muskie in Virginia article that I'm putting out for the Virginia Wildlife publication here in the next couple of months. So that's mainly what I got going on right now. And I'll probably get a few more knocked out before the spring really gets going. But it's like you said, it's definitely given me something to focus on while our fishing's been a little bit out of commission lately.
Yeah, it sounds like you've been super busy. And before I let you hop, because it's your birthday, we have to wish Matt a happy birthday, everybody. And you blow out the candles on your birthday cake. Why don't you let folks know where they can find you so they can book some of the few remaining days you've got left this year?
Yeah, man. The smallmouth season. Yeah, I say smallmouth, but really just spring and summer. We've got phenomenal trout fishing through those periods too. They're going pretty quick. I mean, I got a couple days left in April, a couple days left in May, and a couple left in July. So we're really looking at like summer at this point. It's been pretty wild. But if you'd like to hop on the calendar or get in touch with me for any other reason, my website is mattreillyflyfishing.com, and my email and phone number and social media links and all that's on there. So I look forward to hearing from you. And yeah, I appreciate it, Marvin.
Oh, no worries. Absolutely. And, folks, sounds like it might be time might be better spent getting ready for the spring and sitting at the vise and cranking out a few dozen flies. So, pick your poison. And if you get out and fish, certainly please be careful when you wade. And tight lines, everybody, and tight lines, Matt.
All right. Thanks, Marvin.